Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Who Cares Anyway podcast. We are live. It is Friday night. I'm your host, Chris Dohmen. And guys, we're in for a fun one. This is going to be a special treat, not just for you guys, but for me as well, because I believe, as Obi-Wan Kenobi once said in Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, I'm taking my first steps into a larger world. So it's not just me here, obviously, tonight, and we have a couple of great guests that I wanted to talk to for a long time on this show, and here they are tonight. The first one just showed up now. That's why we're just running a tad bit late, but you know what? I'd rather be late and have everything ready than on time and scrambling, so that's all good. Our second guest will join us in the second half, but let's introduce the panel as we reveal everybody here tonight. This is going to be a fun one. Starting off with my usual co-host, Kees. What's up, my man?
Hello. Yeah, we're back with the show, and we finally have some guests. I mean, we had a guest before, but yeah, we're getting more guests. That's fun. I hope we have a good conversation because of it. Looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the show.
Absolutely. And speaking of other guests, he's not technically a guest, but this is his first time on this show, but you've seen him all over our other content. Nico Rigoli, what's up, my man? How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm just watching the playback that's on like 5 to 10 seconds of a delay, and I'm making weird facial expressions in my close-up, so that's very interesting. It feels good to be on. We're going to talk about some very interesting stuff, some stuff that I'm a part of, some stuff that our other guests are a part of, and how those things might intersect with one another. And yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight.
Absolutely. And as you can see him right below me here in the chat, he is an old friend, shall we say. Once upon a time, he and I could have considered ourselves good rivals, but you know what? I just like to think of him as a good friend of the channel, a good friend of the show. He is no one other than Chance Ellison, the Cobra himself from the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. Chance, thank you for coming on the show, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. It's been a while since we've collaborated on anything, but yeah, I'm always happy to just go anywhere where I can talk movies. So this is gonna be a fun show.
Exactly, and you know, sure, you and I could do our shtick like we've done time and time again, but you know what? That's not why we're here tonight. We're here because
it's not?
Because there are some things that I really want to get into, not just for movies, but also for, you know, actually important shit in life, and also talk about a little bit about your career and how you had a crazy year last year, and I want to get into that.
I really did.
You did, and you know, I know some people have issue when people are saying like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for what you did," and they weren't really there for the journey. But dude, like, I know for a fact I'm speaking on behalf of Kees, Nico, and myself when we say that we are fucking proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
So, but I think that's enough ass kissing for right this moment, because we do have some topics that I definitely want to start the night off with. And one of the first things that I actually want to bring up is there's been so many sequels and reboots and whatnot announced this week, and I think one of the big ones that everyone else wants to talk about, but I personally don't care, that is Ghostbusters 3. It was just announced this week that Jason Reitman, Ivan's son and Catherine's brother, for all the old school Schmoes No fans, will be directing this with, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's also writing it, or co-writing it.
He is co-writing it.
Yep, co-writing it. So I'm gonna get this out for myself. I'm not that excited for it because I like the original fine. I think 2 is okay. It has its good moments. And the reboot from 2016, it just didn't work for me. Not because of the setup or anything, but I just wish that this movie was what that movie was supposed to be, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Chance, as someone who actually seems very excited by this, what are your thoughts, man?
Oh yeah, no. The original Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely one of my favorite comedies. I love that movie to death. 2 is not very good, but I mean it is like a nice sequel to if you like those characters, that if you just want them to have a good time, like come together again, it's good for that. I don't like the reboot at all. I think the reboot is just an unfunny mess of a movie. And when I heard Jason Reitman was doing this, I'm just like, this could be interesting because of course, being the son of the guy who directed the original.
Yeah.
And but what really sold me on this is the teaser he put out, because look, that teaser he put out, like he was announced to be directing a day before that came out. That's not something you put together in a day. That's something you have on tap. So it tells me that's something either he's been working on for a long time or something that he's always wanted to do and is now getting the opportunity. So he seems really excited about it. And Jason Reitman, he's a very talented director. I've liked a bunch of movies.
Absolutely.
So this is something really different than anything he's done before, but I'm excited to see what he can do for this franchise.
No, and it's funny to bring that up because as far as his directing goes, I've not seen a film of his that I didn't like.
Really?
Well, okay.
Men, Women, and Children?
Again, the films of his that I've seen, I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard some bad things, so I avoided that one. But, but I'm still obviously hesitant just because I still have the scars of the 2016 reboot. Kees, refresh my memory. Did you catch that reboot or?
I did in theaters, because 2016 was the year that I saw like most movies. The most movies of a couple of in the last couple of years, which was a good year. But the reboot was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was great. Definitely could have been better, but there were some decent parts in it. Then again, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Ghostbusters. I think it's a fun movie that I've seen twice and that I don't really desire to see again. I've seen the sequel, which was it's fine, serviceable. Like as Chan said, like if you like those characters, you'll like it for what it is. Can I just say I don't care for this new one? Like I don't really know what Jason Reitman has done. But
well, he did Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Up in the Air, Young Adult.
So all kinds of movies that I haven't seen.
Absolutely adore.
Yeah, movies that he had a really good run from Thank You for Smoking to Young Adult. 4 movies that were really, really strong. It was Labor Day that kind of showed us that okay, maybe this guy isn't all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I haven't seen any of his movies.
Trust me, he's good. He's a really good director.
Okay. Oh, I can trust your word for it, but I haven't seen any of his movies, and I don't care for the Ghostbusters franchise. So, yeah, that's really it. I don't care.
And you know what? That's actually a fair point because now, Nico, to sort of go off of that, like, are you sort of in our boat, or are you actually more with Chance as far as excitement from the previous films?
So, I'm in a unique situation here in that I have seen the 2016 reboot, but I have not seen either of the 2 originals.
What is wrong?
Why is it you had him on this show again?
I don't know.
Because he's got like some charity thing next week, so I was gonna be nice. But you know what? I'm starting to regret my life decisions right now.
Look, there's a reason why Chance is in the Schmoedown, and I am harassing his boss to constantly make new divisions that I can actually compete in and do well in. But
that he'll never make anyway.
We shall see. We shall see about that. But anyway, so the fact that I haven't had like the drive to see the first 2 originals, obviously that drive isn't there to really see this 3rd one either. So although maybe I might sit down and actually give these movies the time of day, and maybe that will draw up some anticipation for the 3rd one.
Just watch the first
I don't.
one, at least.
But
Yeah,
right now I'm kind of just like meh.
And that's a lot more fair, I'd say. Yeah, Thank You for Smoking was in my top 5 of 2005. Juno is in my top 10 of 2007, and Up in the Air is in my top. Up in the Air is
fantastic.
Oh my God, that's like my top 3 of 2009. I adore these films. But
yeah, I think Young Adult's pretty underrated too.
Young Adult's not bad. I do need to rewatch though, just because the first time I watched it, I was a little intoxicated, so my memory of it is a little fuzzy. But
Yeah, Young Adult. The Kid Tully this last year, which was like a really good comeback for him. Frontrunner was okay. It felt like he didn't have like as much time as he wanted with that movie, but I blame Sony more than necessarily blame him. Because Sony.
I was about to say, isn't it more fun to just blame Sony for everything?
Well, because it's such they make it easy. They make it easy. But yeah, like I have a feeling about that. And again, that teaser really sold me because like it feels like it's like a real passion project for him. And granted, we have seen those go wrong in the past, but I would like to. It gives me excitement to see a new Ghostbusters movie, especially one that takes place in the original continuity, just because.
True.
I do want to see those characters come back in a way, and it does say original continuity, not starring the original cast members. So like, we're not necessarily going to see this movie headlined by Bill Murray and 60-year-old Dan Aykroyd talking about alien vodka.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, we don't need that. Sure, that would be wonderful
No,
to
we
have,
don't.
but that's not the point of why the movie is existing. And actually, to build off of that point you were making about it going back to original continuity and really trying to dive into what made that world so great, I actually want to move on to the next story, which, again, people, give me all the hate. I'm not a Robert Zemeckis fan, especially when he wants to tackle a movie that I genuinely love and grew up with based on a Roald Dahl book known as The Witches.
Oh, The Witches?
I love that movie. Angelica Houston is fucking terrifying in that movie.
I agree.
But so to replace her, though, who are we getting this time around? Hollywood's sweetest sugary princess, Anne Hathaway. But here's the scary thing. As much as I want to rant and rave about this, there's a small part of me that thinks this could work. Like, Nico, as someone who looks clearly confused about what I'm talking about, do you have any thoughts about this? Or
He doesn't know what The Witches is.
So I'm assuming that what we're talking about is a movie that was probably scary and requires the main character to have like some sort of edge to her. Am I on the right track here?
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, we know from previous from past experience that Anne Hathaway can pull off like that intimidating character that has an edge to her. Like, for example, Selena Kyle in The Dark Knight Rises.
That's not Selena Kyle, though.
yeah, it is.
And also, I found her like pretty intimidating when she was in Ocean's 8. So I see the potential for her in this role that I obviously know nothing about, but I'm saying educated guesses for anyway.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Now, for someone who's saying that just off of hearing it about it, that's a fair, that's fair.
Fair estimate.
Fair estimate. In case, I presume, nothing too much to say on this, or?
Not a lot. Robert Zemeckis is a good director. Chris, you shut up. Roald Dahl is a good writer for kids books, and he's Dutch, so yay for that. Don't like Anne Hathaway though.
So we have our Tiffany Smith of the panel here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't like Anne Hathaway. I've seen her in a crap ton of movies, but I don't ever really like her. So I'm like, yeah. This movie will come out. I might not see it. That's it.
Now, Chance.
Yes.
You hear Robert Zemeckis. I know you love Back to the Future.
I do.
And I'm pretty sure you love a good chunk of Zemeckis' other stuff.
I do.
And so you hear Anne Hathaway to take over the Angelica Houston role. Do you think that's good casting, or do you think that's a bad call right now?
It's not the one I would have gone with, just because Anne Hathaway, like you said, she's known for being like America's sweetheart, the nice girl. So I do find interesting because this is something. It could be like a complete departure. We never really seen her play like an outright like villain, like in The Witches. But this actually gets me a little more excited for this movie, just because I do want to see her give that a try. Like, I would want to see her try something like a villain role like that. Like, keep in mind, when Heath Ledger was announced to be Joker, he was known as the Brokeback Mountain guy. No one thought he could pull it off. So you know
what?
We've seen stranger things happen.
We absolutely have, and especially if Zemeckis is going to be like keeping this a lot closer to the book, which, as great as the 1990 version is, it does actually stray away from the source material quite a bit. Like, it's not like a super loose adaptation, but by my understanding, Zemeckis is going to make this a lot tighter as far as
something Roald Dahl had an knack for was crafting stories that were like sweet and whimsical as much as they were like just horrifying. So
Willy Wonka being a prime example.
Willy Wonka for sure. And the thing is, like, to think like, because the original movie, I didn't watch that as a kid being like terrified of the practical effects. Think what they can do with like digital effects. I'm not saying like make the witch like big CGI monstrosities, but like they could do like to enhance the practical effects. There's a lot you can do with the witches in modern day. So I'm definitely interested in this one.
And that's why, yes, past bias and hatred aside,
I just realized I've seen the original.
Oh, you have?
Oh, wow.
I just realized this.
Case realized you watched the movie.
The thing is, because Roald Dahl is a Dutch writer, like, he's very popular here, his books. And I remember reading his book and it being, like, kind of haunting. And then I saw the movie and I was like, I'm scared to death to see the one scene where they all turn into mice, I believe.
Yeah.
And I saw it as a kid, so that's why I hardly remembered it. But I just remember seeing this because I was like, wait, Rowan Atkinson is in this.
How'd your kids? Rowan Atkinson's here.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That is correct, yeah.
Well done, Kees. That's a Schmoedown point for you.
Thank you. Even though I don't need them, Chance needs them.
That is true. Johnny, damn you, Johnny Slade.
Well, to be fair, is it that good of a movie though?
What, The Witches?
No, the movie that you.
Oh, Johnny Slade. No,
yeah,
it's
Johnny
not.
Slade. Yeah. I mean, Depp is fine in it, but yeah.
You mean Pitt
or Pitt? God damn it! Now I'm getting my movies. I'm getting my movies all backwards. But well, and can you blame me because I saw a trailer today that made me just want to forget everything and just get lost in how amazing it looked because I love the first one. I think the second one is just as good, if not better. John Wick 3 trailer.
Ooh.
Oh, blew my goddamn mind. Kees, going back to our conversation about Keanu Reeves we had last week. Are you excited for this new one now that the trailer's out?
I haven't seen the trailer because of the No. I have a reason for this.
Okay.
I will see this movie anyway, so I don't need a trailer.
Oh, so
I'll see it anyway. Like I've seen the first one, which is a very good, well shot action movie. Thank fucking Christ in this day and age. The second one is also a well-made action movie with a little less plot to it that I care for, but still a good movie. And the third one will be the same. It's a well-made action movie that are not made enough in this day and age because people, for some reason, think that quick-cut editing and shaky cam is the way to go to mask shitty choreography these days. So, thank fucking Christ, there is an action franchise that doesn't do that actually does its stunts, and it shows us the action. So, yes, please. I'll be lining up for it.
I respect that. I certainly respect that. Now, Chance, you look excited.
I am excited, but here's the thing. I also didn't see the trailer.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
No,
okay.
Here's the thing. I love the first John Wick. That is one of my favorite action movies of the past decade. I think that is an absolute masterclass. I think it's really kind of rectifying. The Bourne movie started like the whole revolution of everybody doing like quick cuts and shaky cam to hide the fact that, like Kay said, that their action choreography is
Bourne made it work, and
Bourne made
everyone
it work,
just used it.
People kept taking the wrong lessons from it. I think John Wick really brought the whole like trend of like long takes and choreography and getting actors through training them. It is easily the most perfect role for Keanu since Point Break, and yeah, I love the first one. I love the second one. Both I think are awesome action movies. The reason I did not watch the trailer for the third is because I heard people who have seen cuts of this movie that the action is just completely off the charts, and that like don't watch the trailer because some of the best sequences might be spoiled. So I decided to avoid this one. I decided to avoid it just so I'm gonna try and go and call this movie now. If it plays in my theater as I try to watch another movie, then I'm screwed. But I'm gonna give it a shot.
Fair enough. Nico, are you with them, and did you also avoid watching it, or?
We're making it a perfect 3 for 3 here. However, I did see a poster. I'm not sure if it was real or not, but I did see a poster for Chapter 3, and yeah, the poster pretty much sums up how I thought things were gonna how things were gonna go after the second movie left off. By the way, these are movies that I actually have seen, so that's something to celebrate in and of itself. But yeah, I actually saw the first two. I saw the first two movies on the plane ride to the second Schmoedown LA live event. So, yeah. I'm avoiding the trailer for sort of the same reasons these two are. I don't want to be spoiled. I kind of want to. I feel like the poster pretty much gave me enough intel as to what I'm going to see, and I want to see it play out. Like, how is he going to deal with just every single assassin coming after him now?
You know what? Okay, fair enough. Then I won't break it down. I won't get into it.
The good thing is you can tell us like anything in this trailer and like wow, the bias like John Wick kills 3 men in a bar with a sandwich. Wait, what? How does that work?
Yeah, but here's the thing though, you'd kind of believe it at this point with how crazy this franchise has gotten.
If you told me John Wick killed 7 guys with just a pack of gum, I'd buy it because it's just that good.
That's true.
If you told me John Wick killed a pack of gum with 7 guys, I would be like, how'd that work out?
How does that happen?
Look, the only thing that I care about in this movie is if his dog now survives, because he survived the last one, needs to survive this one, because don't mess with his fucking dog.
Yeah, you do whatever you want. Kill as many people with John Wick's life as you want. Don't kill that puppy.
Do not.
Although, wouldn't it be a shame if there was like multiple puppies this time and then they all died?
It's like they skip wives, girlfriends, kids. They went straight to puppies.
Chris, I want your shades now so I can put them on and cry.
There you go. Okay. Well, here. Speaking of shades, you know what? Fuck it. Let's break them out. Okay.
Ow!
A director that I genuinely want to appreciate for what he's done, because there is a director out there that I want to give a little bit of props to for still having success after having shit movie after shit movie after shit movie that were surprisingly financial successes. That is Mr. Tim Story.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going at all.
Yeah. No, not quite getting there yet, Chance. Not quite getting there yet.
Of course.
But, this guy's done the Ride-Along films and the Fantastic Four films from the mid-2000s, and they all sucked. But hey, they made a lot of money, so what are you going to do? Oh, go grab Mr. Controversy himself, Kevin Hart, and go make a movie based on the board game Monopoly?
Is that going to be like perpetual movie? It's never going to end? If they really wanted to make an accurate Monopoly movie, they would have it just be like just never ending.
Exactly. No, Monopoly is the true never-ending story. Let's make that perfectly clear, folks.
That is very true.
Who asked for this? Why?
I don't know. Studios that studios. The Lego Movie is to blame for a lot. Now, as great as that movie is, it did start a whole movement of a popular IP people didn't think would work as a movie. Let's get it, and people would be like, "Why? Lego Movie worked." Okay, and you have to be like, okay,
so let's make an emoji movie.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's we're getting like Emoji Movie and like the Ugly Dolls movie.
And that Barbie movie that's still never gonna happen.
Or Pikachu.
It got a star, producer, and a release date, so who knows?
I don't know. I just hope it falls apart.
Probably.
Does anybody have any actual thoughts about this before I move on?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what the game pieces are from the original Monopoly, and just think in my head, who would play them?
Who plays the car?
Yeah,
I was always the car.
Yeah.
And also, like, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Nico.
And my second thought was, if they're gonna make like a Monopoly movie, because as you said, they're making movies about all types of IP now. How long before we get a Mr. Peanut movie?
Mr. Peanut, like from the Planters mascot.
Yes.
Oh wow.
How long before we get a Settlers of Catan movie?
Now that would be amazing.
Settlers of Catan, that would work. Settlers of Catan would work. Like there are board games that would make interesting movies. Like Monopoly's not one.
Sometimes I have good ideas.
Sometimes you do have good ideas, but like Tim Story, he's directed a few good movies. Like Barbershop is a really good comedy.
Yes, Barbershop is actually a really fun comedy. I have to give him.
Think Like a Man 2. Think Like a Man 2 I think is pretty underrated. Not Think Like a Man 2. Think Like a Man. Not Think Like a Man 2. The first Think Like a Man.
I actually haven't seen that yet.
It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. I like that movie. But yeah, like you said, Chris, everything else is just garbage. But his movies make money though. Like the Ride Along movies made money. Both Think Like a Man's made money. He's doing Son of Shaft this year, which I'm really nervous about because he did the right thing, brought back Sam Jackson and Richard Roundtree, but he got the human charisma vacuum that is Jesse T. Usher to co-star on this movie. So yeah, that gives me some pause. So look, Tim Story, he's gonna get work. I just gotta hope I gotta pray for him to get another good movie because I think he's due for one at some point, and look, and I can come back
at some point. But the problem is, sadly, John Singleton, he is not. So.
Well, John Singleton's not John Singleton anymore.
You know what? Okay, yep, fair enough. Never mind. Ryan Coogler, he is not. There we go.
No, you're right. Ryan Coogler, he is. Bad example. Spike Lee, he is not. Yeah, the thing is, I'm really hoping it can work. If M. Night can come back from Last Airbender and Lady in the Water, anything's possible. But yeah, Monopoly movie for Kevin Hart. Like,
what
is Kevin Hart gonna be the Monopoly man? Like,
I'm trying to picture that, and I'm
trying to picture him with this mustache and the hat.
I'm picturing him screaming at all the players to go to jail and give him money.
Actually, you know what? Nico's kind of selling me on this movie. Now I'm on board.
Tim Story, I'm doing your job for you. Give me some money.
Yes, there we go. And okay. Speaking of money, ladies and gentlemen, it's rant time.
Oh God,
rants for days.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to hear this. We'll go get my popcorn.
So, Disney, I love you. You are one of my favorite companies. You have produced some of my favorite films of all time, and I thank you for that. Slight problem here, though, folks. What in the seven circles of hell do you think you're trying to do, trying to remake one of your most underrated films with one of your best villains, some of your best music, some of your best songs? Why are you remaking Hunchback of Notre Dame? Case, I said this off air, and I'll say this to your face on air right now. As much as it kills me to say, I will never give you shit for hating on the Lion King remake ever again. Because...
Thank you.
What?! Why is this movie happening? I mean...
Because they're remaking all their classics.
They're running out of IP.
They're remaking all their movies. Regardless of what Disney classic exists, they will be remade in years. Within years.
It was either this or Song of the South. They're not opening that.
Like I'm just waiting for them to remake Pinocchio and Fantasia and Bambi and just about everything that they've done because that's what they're doing. That's their strategy these days. I agree with it? No.
I know.
But they're doing it anyway because they have money and they can. And this movie will make money because it's
actually
Disney.
No, it won't. Because lest everybody forgets, like, sure, Hunchback when it came out in '96, it made more than its production budget. It made a little bit of a profit, but not as much as the studio wanted it to. They wanted it to make about $500 million. It barely cracked about $400. So sure, it made a profit. It got its money's worth. But in the eyes of Disney, it was still something of a failure because it didn't perform as well as they wanted it to. So, and let's also face facts. As much as I adore Hunchback of Notre Dame, it is still Disney's most maligned movie out of that entire era because of how dark it is.
Well, but I think that's the reason I'm kind of on board with this remake in particular, because you think about it. I mean, they've already like set in motion or in motion all the movies that were major successes. I mean, they're Beauty and the Beast, which was a massive success. They did they're doing Lion King and Aladdin both this year.
And those are going to be huge successes.
And Dumbo.
And Lilo and Stitch is in the plans too.
Yeah. So they're already hitting all the major successes. I think a good model for them would be to do movies that weren't like major hits, just because. I mean, you think about it. What's it going to do? If it looks good, like most of these movies did, and it sells tickets, like most of the live action movies have done, it will increase the popularity of the property, which will get more attention on the animated movie.
And that's true, but this is just my counter follow up to that. So you know what, shades off. So if that's what they're trying to go for, then to me at least, wouldn't it make more sense to take a crack at a film of theirs that had a lot of potential but didn't work as well, like either Great Mouse Detective or The Black Cauldron, which
you see, movies... that's the thing. I think this is gonna be like testing ground to see, like, for them to see, like, okay, we're trying these popular properties are working in live action form. Let's see if we take a property that's like not as popular, see if that'll work. I think if this does succeed, we will see more start seeing like live action. Like this might give them the courage to try like a live action Black Cauldron.
That is what I've been wanting forever. Like
of all the Disney movies, I think that's the one they should try again.
Yeah,
like
because
Lost Empire.
Yeah.
Emperor's. Yeah. What about Emperor's New Groove?
Oh no! Don't touch that one. That one's great.
That's a very fun movie.
But I think it might give them might give them the courage to try like a Black Cauldron movie. It might give them the courage to try like maybe Atlantis. Like all these other movies that like weren't like huge financial hits or like even like huge critical hits or with like our audience hits, that if this movie succeeds, it might be it might give them courage to try like new different things as opposed to sticking with all like the A-list Disney movies.
Exactly, and yeah, no, you're actually right. So if they're gonna test it out on something that to sort of just be a testing ground to do something like a Black Cauldron series of films, because remember, well, for anybody who has read the books, there's more than one book, and there's a lot of great material to go from. So, damn it, I hate that you're right, Chance. I hate that you're right, but you are right. So well done. Thank you for putting me in my place for right now.
You're welcome. And hey, I get it. When people hear that their properties they love are getting remade, they're obviously going to be, they're going to be a little apprehensive to it. But you got to look at the bigger picture in these cases.
Exactly, and actually, I kind of said something like that to when Kees and I were having an argument about this sometime off camera. This was months ago, but yeah. I just didn't foresee this one coming, and I'm one of those cult fans of this film where it's like, God damn, there's only one thing wrong with this movie, and I don't care that the one problem is there because it's still perfect in my eyes. So.
Well, the thing is like the fans of Hunchback of Notre Dame, they're like the Marines, the few, the proud.
Damn right.
The few, the proud, the Hunchback fans. And yeah, like it is one of the most underrated movies. So, and like I watched the movie again recently. I'm like, I could totally see this translated to live action. Now, Josh Gad starring in this movie.
As right now he's just producing. I don't know if he actually has a starring role.
No, I think he is set to star in it.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
Oh boy.
I'm
by the way, if Josh Gad does get that role, there needs to be some kind of a joke about him being both LeFou and Olaf in both Disney properties.
They will probably try to fit that in. He'll probably try to fit that in, but he'll probably fall flat.
He's rumored to lead. Nothing's been official yet. So
okay,
I think Josh Gad's mistake.
Maybe.
And
actually, and speaking of leads, okay. This is another just quick little side tangent thing that I'm just worried about with this remake. So when they announced the cast of The Lion King, that's where I got a lot of my faith that it's actually going to be okay. Because say what you will about the idea of the remake in period, but that cast is phenomenal.
But, I mean, you get Tony J as Frollo.
But sadly, he passed away almost over 10 years ago.
So Tony J's not going to come back for this one.
No. But this is what I'm just scared they're going to do. I'm scared that they're going to de-age Frollo a little bit, bring him a little younger, and then put in like a Jude Law or a Benedict Cumberbatch or something like that. Like, no, like if you...
Cumberbatch, I can see doing it. I can see Cumberbatch pulling it off.
In 15 years, I could see him doing it.
Wait, what about Peter Capaldi?
See, that's where I was about to go. I was about to go, if you go a little older and go either a Peter Capaldi or maybe a Charles Dance.
Charles, yes.
Then I was
thinking
down.
Game of Thrones.
And maybe a slightly younger go, maybe a Hugh Grant. The dude's on a career comeback.
Can he sing?
Yes, he can. He can.
He can sing. Actually, he's actually pretty good. And Okay.
We made Chris a little bit more excited for this remake.
Okay, who would play Esmeralda?
You need someone.
Zendaya.
Oh no.
Like, can we not oversaturate her in everything? Because she's in everything.
I had to troll once. Sorry.
I like her, but same thing. She's in everything now, so give her a break before people get sick of her.
She's in everything, and we haven't seen anything to prove that she is that great an actress. I mean, she was in.
Okay.
She was in 2 movies I really liked in 2017. She was the worst part of both of them.
No, legit though. Tia Sarkar.
Who?
We know who she's talking about.
The voice actress of Sabine Wren in Rebels.
Oh.
And she's also
she's actually
on a show
really
with
good.
Zach Braff on I think ABC, and she's made a couple appearances in other things as well. But I'm forgetting what those other things are.
Yeah, she
was on The Good Place. She's really funny on that show.
Yeah. So she has the chops of both the comedic timing and as well as the dramatic moments. So okay,
yeah,
all right,
I can see that happening.
All right, okay, I'll start to sell myself back into this idea. Okay. All right then.
So that rant was just for nothing.
Not quite, but
no. Rants are always for something, and that is entertainment.
Yes, they are.
Maybe like a Frida Pinto or a Priyanka Chopra. I think either one of them could pull it off.
I could see it. Definitely. But now for something that I am truly excited for, in case I know you're excited for this.
Wait.
There's a little biopic about a certain English author that just got announced about the one, the only, Mr. J.R.R. Tolkien, with Nicholas Hoult, Lily Collins, Derek Jacobi, and just a big freaking cast of characters. As a fellow Lord of the Rings nut, how excited are you for this news?
Are you seeing this?
Yeah, I'm seeing this.
Come on! Yes! All the yes to this, please. J.R.R. Tolkien is actually someone that I'm extremely interested in because of the fact that I love his work. Not all of his adapted work, but his personal work. Like, he's a great writer. Because of course the Hobbit movies are not that great. But he is a great writer. And I don't know much about him because he passed away a very long time ago already. And I want to know more about him. I want to know more about how he was as a person, how he got the idea of the Lord of the Rings, what made him write those books, and just about everything that he's written, because it seems that everything he writes is just gold. Especially considering how much I love the Lord of the Rings movies. So, yeah. Honestly, I saw this, I was like, yes, please. When can I see it?
Yeah, this movie can't come fast enough. I'm so goddamn over the moon about this idea. Like this just I'm excited. Now, Chance,
Mhm.
it's my understanding that while you appreciate the Lord of the Rings films, you're not quite as high on the mountain as Case and myself.
I don't know who told you that. Okay, I love the Lord of the Rings film. It's not my favorite of the quote unquote like big franchise, but I do love it quite a bit. Yeah, this is an interesting cast put together. I do believe Nicholas Hoult he has like a checklist of authors he wants to play because he did play J.D. Salinger in a movie
That's
that nobody
true.
saw.
Yeah, he did. Oh crap! What was that in though? Was that? Oh.
I think it was called it was like Catcher in the I mean, maybe it was just called Salinger. No, Salinger's the documentary.
Yeah, Salinger's documentary.
Rebel in the Ride. That's the name of the
Rebel
movie. Rebel in the
Schmoedown.
Ride. But anyways, yeah, like Nicholas Holt's a very, very good actor. So is Lily Collins. It's gonna be cool to see Derek Jacobi go in a movie like this. The thing is, like, he has J.R.R. Tolkien had a very interesting life. He was a part of the British Army. He was a university professor. He was a good friend of C.S. Lewis, who I would love to see that whole dynamic. And you also, it'd also be interesting to see like how he got to this whole process because the dude like spearheaded a whole like movement of fantasy.
Yeah.
Like the dude is making work for crying out loud. Like there's clearly more to him than we are told. I think this would be a really good opportunity to see into him as a person. And yeah, definitely looking forward to this movie.
Well, no, and that's it's funny you bring that up because like that to me is more the selling point is to understand the legacy of the man who essentially created modern fantasy. Like everyone credits it to George Lucas, as in a way they kind of should in terms of the right now modern sense. But who are the people that influenced him? Well, that was, Buck Rogers and Tolkien and Joseph Campbell and Flash Gordon. Like this man right here who, in the words of Epigraph House of History, he cut his teeth in the trenches of the Somme while, what's his face, George R.R. larped his Santa Claus ass through Vietnam. But like this could be a really great way to truly understand what made this guy create the world that he did. It's kind of like Professor Marsden and the Wonder Women. That movie came out a couple years ago.
Very underrated movie.
Oh my god, I adore that film.
But yeah, I think the reason, what makes a good biopic is the fact that you know the who, you know the what. You need to answer the question of why. Like what made him? Why was he like this? What made him the way he is? What inspired him to do all these great things that he ended up doing?
Exactly. So now, Nico, refresh me. If you wind up seeing this movie before you see a Lord of the Rings film, how much are the rest of us going to disown you here on the panel?
I'm surprised you haven't disowned me already.
Yeah, I disowned Nico already. I know what you're talking about.
But then again, I'm surprised a lot of people that I work with in this community haven't disowned me already. Like, I've been threatened with it so many times that you'd think it would have happened by now. Yeah, I still have not seen any Middle Earth movies, but...
No wonder you suck at Geekdom.
Oh, snap.
I can't wait for our second guest to get here so she can kick your ass. But anyway. Anyway. My great uncle has been a big fan of Lord of the Rings since they were just books.
Look, he's smart.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Anyway.
Please continue, Nico. Please continue.
Anyway, so I'm more curious about this movie than I am about the actual movies that spawned from the books he wrote, because I want to see like what drove him to write these, and maybe I'll see what sucked my great uncle into becoming a fan of his lore, and then maybe that might actually, if I haven't seen them already, finally encourage me to go watch these goddamn movies. But yeah.
Okay, so then how about this, Nico? I'll move on from this one so we can quit abusing you. Because listen, we still love you here because you're a Resistance fan like the rest of us. So for now, your transgressions are forgiven.
For now.
I love how the fact that I haven't seen these movies is like I murdered a baby. It's an offense that needs to be punished.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
This aggression will not stand.
Like the greatest movie trilogy of all time, and that's
coming from a Star Wars fan.
Exactly, that's coming from a huge Star Wars fan. Like, it's the greatest movie trilogy of all time, and it is a crime that you, as a person who likes movies, I guess, haven't seen it yet. Well, I often wonder your actual movie fandom because of your knowledge of it. I kid.
I've specified.
Don't fuck with Nico on How to Train Your Dragon.
Thank you.
Okay, those are at this moment 2 movies that
Although it's funny you mention that, Chance, because segue. But no, and legit, this is actually something really cool that I don't really give a lot of thanks to, a lot of the ticket sales websites like Fandango or whomever the fuck, but I do actually want to give some props here. Fandango,
especially have disrespect to Adam tickets. Goddamn.
Well.
Yeah, I know. Just go ahead.
They kind of screwed me one too many times, so sorry, Adam, but not sorry. But Fandango is actually giving some early access to How to Train Your Dragon 3 about 3 weeks before the movie would even come out, and
3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Shit. Don't kill Nico.
Yes, Nico, you could actually go to Fandango right now, and you could get yourself some tickets for How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World. I got mine last night. I'm gonna go see it on, what day? Tuesday, I believe. Tuesday at about 3:00 in the afternoon. So you better hop to it.
Oh, I better. Like, do I need a Fandango account, or will the gift card I got from a friend just work out just fine?
You can just use however you can pay for it, as long as it's not cash, because you can't put cash through the internet quite yet. But once we get there,
once we get there, shit's gonna be crazy.
Yes, it is.
Let me pay Fandango with Bitcoin.
If you have Bitcoin, then I know people who would love to talk to you.
But no, and to be fair, I'm trying to think of another time where a studio forwarded, did a forward screening of a big tentpole movie like this early in the year.
It was actually just recently. It was Aquaman. Like Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime did that for Aquaman. I saw Bumblebee like two or three before it released. I saw it on December the 8th. So
by the chance, isn't that movie just amazing?
Bumblebee?
Yeah.
It's good. It's fun. It's a good live action remake of The Iron Giant, which in itself was an animated remake of E.T. But it's definitely the best live action Transformers movie.
Fair enough. But okay, so I stand corrected. I guess I'm not paying enough attention to the websites that actually do this. So, but Kees, just for curiosity's sake, I know you guys get the Marvel movies a week in advance over there, but does this ever happen with other smaller films, or?
You're muted.
Oh no.
By the way, screw you to Malcolm Goldie Lay in the chat, who's saying we in New Zealand got How to Train Your Dragon 3 already.
Oh yeah, the people in Australia and New Zealand have already gotten that movie.
You guys suck.
Yep, still can't hear you, Kees.
Hey, look, they live in a world where everything's trying to kill them. Give them a sliver of hope at some point. You're still muted, Kees.
No. Crap.
This is funny. It's not like we're live or anything.
Oh, no, not at all. But you know what? Let's be fair. this kind of shit happens all the time no matter what. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a very short break, and then we will be right back. Hopefully, by then we'll be back with the one, the only Jeannine LC. And then after, we'll hopefully get our technical problems fixed. But until then, we'll see you at the second half. See you in a moment.
Comedies Yuck Fest.
Can I stop waving now?
The question is, who directed and co-wrote Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy?
I do not like this movie. I do not like this movie.
You say Anchorman top 5 comedy of the new millennium? Top 10?
4, 10.
Think Big Short
3,
case.
2,
Yeah.
1.
Adam McKay.
Down, please, and Chance.
Will Ferrell.
It's incorrect.
Adam McKay.
That's correct.
Chance.
That's correct.
Chance,
That's
Jesus.
Directed and co-wrote.
Yep.
Ah, shit.
So there
You have failed me for the last time, quarterback. Can you imagine?
I have a task for you, apprentice. There's a great disturbance in the force. Powerful Jedi survives in
Your action is off the rails.
He must pay the price for his betrayal.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational shotgun play.
Nico is basically 5-year-old me in that he is the Asperger's child who is not very street smart but thinks a lot with his heart and has good intentions but doesn't already make the best decisions.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, and in this case, he was thinking with his heart. He saw this creature in need that was all alone and didn't have anybody. So he was like, "I'm gonna take this in and I'm gonna care for it as best I can." And
See, for me, it's the Led Zeppelin argument. Zeppelin came out first, but a lot of bands have done what Zeppelin did and did it better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another time.
Here, yeah, actually, you know what? In case the next time that you can't make a live show, and if it's just Ryan and I,
you guys go.
Yeah.
well, we'll settle this little this dispute. I can tell is already starting to brew between us. Ryan, I love you and all, but
no, and Rush is my favorite band, and they started out as a Zeppelin imitator. So I mean, but yeah. Anyway,
and they were doing it better. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a whole long. What's next?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. I'm Christian Harloff.
I am Mark Baby Carousels.
We started the Movie Trivia Schmoedown back 2014.
The Schmoedown, as we know, we got a little bit of a WWE flavor to it.
You get 8 different questions from the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Galaxy. Patreon question. This one comes from Jake the Hammer. The wheel round.
You're kidding me.
This is why we play the Schmoedown.
What the Movie Trivia Schmoedown is all about.
Star Wars Inner Geekdom teams.
Singles, Celebrity Schmoedown. Get ready for it. It's going to be something.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown.
And we are back, everybody. Sorry about the little technical difficulty, but you know what? That happens sometimes. So you know what you do? You fix it, and then you move on with the show. But we're back. And as I mentioned at the top, we now have 2 guests on the call. This is a first time for here on the Who Cares Anime podcast. So, welcoming for her first time on the show, the one, the only, the very lovely Jeannine, the Machine. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you for having me on.
And actually, while you're here, I need to ask you something because I noticed some tweets you put out earlier this week that involved driving in a certain weather condition. Welcome to life in Minnesota. How does it feel?
It was not fun. Stuck in my car just outside of LA, stuck in the snow for about 6 hours. Yeah, not fun.
Woo-hoo.
No food, no water, no bathroom. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's why people have a lot of plastic cups. So you can just, do your business in there and then be done with it. But
I'll know for next time.
On the plus side, and she told me about this, she did get to have a really awesome pizza when she finally got home.
Yeah.
I can imagine it was a very lovely pizza. So, absolutely. So, Jeannine, because you and I have only really met a couple of times, and this would have been like Spectacular 2017. I think we met at Free for All briefly last year.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I didn't do Free for All last year.
Oh, that's right. No, you were you were off summer, but we did meet at Spectacular, and I gotta say, you are just one of the coolest people that I've met from that whole entire area. So.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And plus, I have seen some of your graphic design work, and Jesus Christ, like, what's your rate? What's your rate? I'll pay it because I have some work I'd like to get done. So.
Oh, just DM me. Just DM me.
All right, sounds like a plan. But while I've got you here, I actually want to ask you, what was it that sparked your love of movies? What was that made you a movie geek? And have people like reacted unexpectedly because of your fandom for movies, or?
Not so much unexpectedly. I think it was just growing up watching movies with my older brother. He was kind of like the only other geeky person I knew. He was like my first nerdy friend. So just kind of watching movies with him and laughing, and just that's kind of what grew it. Because my family, the rest of us weren't really into it, so it was just kind of him and me and kind of our thing. So that's kind of where that started.
Awesome. That's actually, you learn something new every day. And, Chance, in all of our time that we've spent together, I've actually never really heard that story either. So, like, where did your movie geekery come from? And when you talk to people about movies, like, not outside of this space, do people seem like it's sort of unexpected for you, or?
Yeah. So it is it's a bit of a long story, so I'm going to try to clip as much as possible. And I did go into this on my favorite slice, so if you want to read more about it, you can go read it there. But like movies has been something that just been ever present in my entire life. My grandmother had just a massive VHS collection. Now, I learned to like walk on my own by the time I was like, I want to say like 6 months, maybe 3. I can't remember. 3 to 6 months. I learned to walk. First place I walked to, the case holding all the VHSs. And awesome. It's something that I learned how to work a VHS or a winder and a television before I was even 1 year old. So it's just something that just really grabbed onto me. It started with Pixar. Then I started branching out into other things. My uncle, who always wanted to be an actor, really got me to like classic films. He's the one who showed me the original Star Wars movies for the first time. My aunt, who was, she was a younger aunt, because my mom got pregnant when she was like 13 or 12. And so, when I was younger and we were bored and had nothing to do, we would go see movies. So yeah, she would take me to go see Monsters Inc. and Pirates of the Caribbean and Spider-Man and all the other things. And what really enhanced it for me was in my hometown, they have this classic film festival. They do it every year. They do it for like 10 days in July. And they do it because they had this like old timey theater that looks like it looks like an old timey theater, and they would just screen classic movies on like giant screens, and I would go there every year. And that's where I saw a lot of movies for the first time that had become my favorites. It's like that's how I saw Jaws for the first time. That's how I saw Psycho for the first time. That's how I saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail for the first time. Just so many contributing factors, and just to the point where just like my family were just major pop culture junkies. We all like movies and TV, and yeah, it's something that's been ever present in my life. So I just grew an attachment to it.
That's awesome, because I guess kind of like yourself. Like I grew up with movies pretty much from the get-go. Like literally my first memories that I have are sitting down on my family's couch and watching all 3 original Star Wars movies and just falling in love with every aspect of it, the effects, the acting, the score. And I came to know as quickly that as I've grown older and became more experienced with movies and whatnot, at least growing up where I did, I didn't have that many people I could nerd out about this stuff with, and there were also, for lack of a better word, a lack of diversity of that wider range of people for me to, interact with, because at least the way that I saw it, Hollywood didn't really seem to give, pretty much anybody, it feels like, outside of, your typical mainstays, the spotlight. And sure, there were exceptions to the rule, like there was Blade, or maybe there was like, an Elektra, but that was not a good movie, So part of the reason I asked you, I wanted you to on here is because, like, this is just something that's been bothering me, and I feel like there's more to it than I fully understand. Like, Jeannine, am I making sense to how I'm feeling? Like, there was just nothing in terms of true representation for that.
Oh yes, totally. I feel like maybe studios just felt like minorities were just that. They were kind of just like a niche market, and if they put a movie that was more diverse, only a select amount of people or a certain type of person would see that, and they, wouldn't make any money. So I think for a long time they just wanted to play it safe, just, get the money. So,
Chance, feel the same
about studios not going for diverse crowds?
Yeah, at least back in the day, because now, thank God, we're finally, getting there, even if we're taking our sweet ass time. But at least the way I feel about it.
No, yeah, I mean, I do agree. I mean, we are in a different time where people are pushing for more diversity, and it's great. And yeah, I think I do agree, because look at who like the most marketable stars were. Look at like the most marketable stars today as opposed to, like, say 10 years ago or even 15 years ago. I mean, like 15 years ago, you had like your Ben Afflecks, your Matt Damons, your Brad Pitts. Although Brad Pitt's still marketable, but like look at all the different caliber of actors who can open a movie now. Like you can have like Michael B. Jordan can open a movie. You got a Gal Gadot who could open a movie. You got like all these like up and coming like the minority talents who are now getting the star status that they might not have gotten 10, 15 years ago. So, or even further than that. So I think it's a great movement we're living right now.
No, absolutely. And I'm just trying to like rack my brain around what it was that actually like broke the mold, and just the only thing that's really coming to mind as far as what's an open and like the first truly big success would arguably be Blade. Unless,
well, as far as comic movies,
well, as far as high grossing, movies that star people of color in general, like they're just like super blockbusters. I'm trying.
Okay, well, super blockbusters go.
Because,
I think Blade is
the
right way to go.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to take that conversation, because like, sure, blaxploitation was a huge subgenre in the 70s. You had your Shafts, your Superflies, your Coffee, pretty much anything that had Pam Grier in it was guaranteed to be a big success amongst the lesser promoted films. But as far as like the mega blockbusters, I feel like sadly Blade is like the first one, and I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head, unless I'm crazy.
You might be right. I'm trying to think there's anything
like, and you have to think hard about it, and that kind of just answers the question right there.
And it's one of those things that just it makes me feel like just sad in a way, because the only other exceptions was when there's like somebody in an ensemble, and this goes for both women and people of color, because again,
for a while, I mean, like the major like black genre as far as like mainstream goes was comedy. Like that was an area where African Americans really shine, because you had like your Eddie Murphys who like Coming to America or like Beverly Hills Cop. Actually, Beverly Hills Cop, I would say maybe the first.
Okay, you're right. Because that was the highest grossing of 1984. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. But like you had your Beverly Hills Cop, your Fridays, your Coming to Americas. So like I think like comedy was seen as an easier genre for African American to break out into, because I mean, as far as like African American action stars in like the mainstream genre, you had like Eddie Murphy, and that was it. And even then, Beverly Hills Cop wasn't really seen as an action movie so much as an action, as much as a comedy.
That's actually yeah, exactly. Like that's, I mean, because you could go to Wesley Snipes to an extent, but again, that was also because of ensemble work, and it was normally because he was paired up with someone like, sure, Demolition Man was a success, but that was also because
that was sold as a Stallone movie. I mean, he didn't really have like a major hit like on his own until like Passenger 57. Like, that was the one that had hit him breakout as like a major star. That or Money Train. I can't remember which one came out first.
Oh shit. Schmoedown.
I want to say Passenger 57 came out first.
It probably was Passenger 57. Yeah, that sounds about right. But
then you also have that Will Smith era. But even then,
Will Smith.
He was doing movies where the majority of the cast was white, and he was the only one. So.
And let's be fair. What does everybody say was the one good thing about Independence Day? Will Smith.
Well, not the one good thing, but the best thing about it.
Fine. For me, he's the one good thing about the movie.
There are people who don't love Independence Day in this world.
There are, and they are un-American. So
Chance, I love you. But yeah, so shit. I was eventually gonna get to Will Smith, but you know what? No, let's crack that open right now. So was it just the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that made him so appealing as a movie star, or?
No, it definitely was, just because. Well, I mean, it's already hard enough to transition from TV to movie, just because the audiences are just so completely different. But he managed. I think it's because of his image, because like, look, even with his rap career, he wasn't seen like most people's like this, like, hard edge, like gangster type of African American.
He was super squeaky clean.
He was squeaky clean, and that's why he had that kind of appeal to
platform.
Which is why he was as big a success as he was in movies like Fresh Prince helped him in that angle. But yeah, I think his squeaky clean like rap persona also made him more appealing to wider audiences.
And actually, Jeannine, refresh me. Are you originally from the California area?
No, I was born in Canada. I'm still a citizen of Canada, but I grew up in California. I've been in California since I was about 4. So
how have I not known about this?
Because Canada sucks.
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We come back to South Park. Always.
Oh my God. Yes. But no, so okay, then you would have grown up when all this was happening. Like,
yes.
So honestly, then, like take a minute and sort of walk me through what, like, how, because you were right there, right in the middle of rap at its most dangerous, and going back to Will Smith and his squeaky clean attitude, like, I can't remember where I actually dug this up, but I've heard some, like, I remember reading this article back when I was in college, and it was basically saying that Will Smith was kind of a misrepresentation of what the rap game was actually all about. So, like, how much do you remember of what that culture was actually like, and if that is still, like, if anything along those lines would be true, like if Will was not really the quote-unquote squeaky clean version of what everyone else was doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, he was that super sellable thing compared to other rappers at the time, and that gave him the platform to kind of do what he did. Like, my brother was listening to, like, the Snoop Dogs and all the, kind of hardcore stuff, and a lot of my friends, their parents were totally against that. So I think that's what kind of set him apart and gave him that platform to kind of be for everybody, whereas,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, awesome. No, because that's what's always, well, and plus, to be fair, Tupac all the way. Sorry, Biggie fans, but
no, yeah, I agree on that.
Although, to be fair, I will always forever argue that Biggie was the better lyricist, but Tupac, his production just off the fucking charts.
Tupac was the better performer of the two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Biggie was the poet, Tupac was the showman.
Which is why I just will never understand why, they couldn't drop the act and just get together, because how amazing would that combination have been?
Would have been great. Would have been great. It would have been like an album just like of them fighting to see who's the lead, but it would have been great.
Just an album of them rap battling each other for hours. That would sell millions.
Oh, everyone would have bought it.
True, and it still would have been better than Kanye and Jay-Z. Ooh, sorry.
Ouch. I like Watch the Throne. Watch your mouth.
And well, okay. Quick side note. It's not that I don't hate Kanye on principle, although man, is he making a case for himself.
Okay,
but,
that's fair. That's fair.
But I've always enjoyed his work more from a production standpoint, not so much from a delivery standpoint. Whereas Jay-Z,
crushing it.
It's just, come on, it's Jay-Z.
Yeah, it's not even a competition. I get it. It's
yeah.
fair.
So, but no, and then so these days now, finally, we're seeing a breakthrough. We're seeing the Ryan Cooglers get their chance to step up to the plate. We're seeing the Patty Jenkins finally get their chance to step up to the plate and crush it. Now, is their success just because, representation is finally happening, or is this from dedicated artists who have just so
See what
much?
you did there.
Yes, thank you, Case. Thank you for catching that. Or is it these dedicated artists who just truly have something, some fire that is burning within them that they just need to get onto the screen? Is it just coincidence, or is it, determined people finally getting their just dues?
I feel like right now things seem really divided in the world. So I feel like those people are pushing to show the world as it really is in films. And if that takes them bankrolling their own projects, writing their own projects, directing their own projects, that's what they're going to do. And they've kind of gotten some success lately. So I think that's what people want to see. They're tired of seeing the same old thing. So I think that's kind of the big push, that just things are kind of so messed up right now that the people who haven't really got their due are really pushing for that and kind of doing it themselves for the most part to get their stuff seen.
Yeah, and if I'll be honest, it is so refreshing. Because, as soon as I saw the poster for Force Awakens, and I saw Finn holding a lightsaber.
That wasn't purple.
I got so excited because, speaking of Mace Windu and Star Wars, in the original trilogy, you had one woman and you had one black guy.
No.
Yeah, but that's Billy D.
And it's Billy D. He makes up. He's like,
counts for 3.
I'd say he counts for 10. He's got that much charm.
Okay, 10.
But
Yes.
and then come around to the prequels. Yes, you had Padme, then you had Anakin's mom, you had all of Padme's decoys, but outside of Padme, nobody really in a spotlight. Nobody really, center
Padme
stage.
wasn't that good of a character.
I never realized you said Padme the mom and all the decoys.
But
I mean, it's true. It's very true.
It is true. And then of course Queen Jamila, but again, that's more of she got her just dues in EU, so that doesn't count. And then on the other side of the coin, you had Mace Windu, and he was at least there for all 3 films, and you had Captain Panaka, who had a lot of time in Phantom Menace, and Captain Typho in the second one. But again, we're still just spending so much time with everyone else, and we're still not getting quite the progress that we're finally getting to today, where now Finn, such a breath of fresh air. Rose, as much as the execution at times wasn't as perfect as it could have been, still a breath of fresh air.
Do you want to open this can of worms?
Case, just
I wouldn't go there, brother.
Case, just let me finish my point. But, you know, and we're actually, and we're final, and shit, Ray. Again, breath of fresh fucking air. Why couldn't this be happening sooner? But we all know it's money.
Well, money is the thing, but also Solo is the thing that I think they're finally realizing that. Well, until Solo, they're realizing like, oh, we don't need to worry about money, so let's just focus on getting some great actors in there, and let's get some people some up and comers. Like who knew who Daisy Ridley was before Force Awakens? Nobody. Nope. And now her career is elevated to just like a great degree. And like you look at a good example of like a super diverse cast is like you look at Rogue One. Like Rogue One, you have it's led by a female. You got a Hispanic man as a backup lead. You got 2 Asian gentlemen. You got a Middle Eastern man. You got Forrest Whitaker doing whatever he's doing. And
yeah.
Book it. I'll tell you the truth. Like, brother, what you doing?
But he's there.
But he's there. Yeah, he at least he gets to be in it, which is what matters.
Yeah.
Even if it is a little kooky.
Yeah, I love that performance as much as I hate that performance.
I like his performance in the trailer better. He actually had more to do.
What will you become? Save the rebellion! Save the dream!
That's not a good line.
No. Plus, well,
as much as I love that movie, yeah.
As much as I enjoy that movie, I still think he should have died at Vader's hand because that would have just been too perfect. But that's neither here nor there. I need to quit playing with this microphone filter. Why do I keep doing that?
There would have been a forced choke on his respirator.
Yes.
Funny.
Well said, Nico. Well
Fine
said.
irony.
Okay, but yeah, you were saying, Chris.
Yes. But no, and then before we had this new era come about, it just feels like from how at least it was marketed from where I live, all that I was really seeing as far as, non-vanilla toast programming, all there really was barbershop films and Medea films, and it's like...
Yeah.
Well, people don't give Tyler Perry enough credit because like he is maybe behind Spike Lee the most influential African American filmmaker of all time, at least in the modern era.
In the modern era, and I agree with you, and I can't not respect him for how much success he's had.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he's been so creatively bankrupt that it just feels.
That's the thing. Like you like whether or not you like a movie, you gotta respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dude writes, produces, directs, stars in his own movie. They're cheap, and every black person in America goes to see them. They cost $400 to make. They returned several millions.
I love that this comment just popped up in the chat. The cool guy says Tyler Perry was great in Gone Girl.
He
so
was.
He does take serious roles from time to time.
And like even like
he was decent in his small role in Star Trek.
And even in his like outside his own movies, like Tyler Perry, he's a really good actor too. Like,
he is, but I just wish that like he'd actually allow himself to get more creatively invested, and it just. Well,
I think he's getting that message because he's killing off Medea this year. So
oh, thank God,
he'll start doing more stuff.
Well, because I'll be honest,
she's finally going up to Hallelujah. Oh, I'm going to hell for that joke.
Nah. Trust me, I've said worse. I believe I. Oh God, where did this happen? But no, I was with a buddy of mine. This was years ago. We were driving on the freeway and I don't know what conversation we were having, but I just remember saying something to the effect of Jesus died on the cross for AIDS, but that's neither here nor there.
What?
Right.
What?
He couldn't do his job.
Nico just puts on the shades.
That is the
Yep.
perfect reaction, Nico.
Okay.
God.
So,
By the way, I don't know if anyone can see, but Perry the Platypus is on one of these lenses right here.
Nice.
I can't really see it, but that's awesome. So, oh, there he is. There he is. Hey, where's Perry?
He's right here.
Yeah. Okay. But no, so I feel like there's one last big like topic that I want to get into before we get ready to wind down and close out with the big topic that I know I better see some footage from next week. That's all I'm going to say, Christian. But this is something that's been on my mind for a long time now. And I feel like, at least in mainstream, what is pushed for popular success, it just feels, it just looks to me like we see movies that are, you know, whether it's like one of the Wayans comedies, you know, the Haunted House or Scary Movie 5 or so on and so forth, 50 Shades of Black, whatever. Or you have religious dramas like War Room, and that are just, in my opinion, just terrible pieces of film because they're insulting the audience's intelligence. And this is just across everybody, because I swear to God, if I have to see one more stupid Larry the Cable Guy movie where he's doing something like Delta Force or something, I'm going to snap someone's neck. But
Putting the shades back on now.
Is there a way to get it across to Hollywood that they can make good quality movies, and, you know, is there a way we can stop making movies for the lowest common denominator? That's
I think
those will always get made. Like, if someone is like, I want to make money, and I know a way to not make a movie for a lot of money and make sure that it makes a lot of money, they'll make it. Like, what's the Purge franchise? None of them are good, but they're still making them.
They made a TV show about
I'll defend Purge 2. I'll defend Purge
2 and 3.
Yeah, Anarchy is good, but the rest.
They've made a Purge.
Like, I saw the first Purge the other day, and it was pretty bad.
They've made a Purge TV show now too. So
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I actually think we've been seeing like a ramp up in diversity in the past few years. Like, you look at like 2017. 2017 was a good year for like minority-led film, because like you had like the success of Get Out, Girls Trip, even All Eyes on Me, which was a moderate hit when it came out. But 2018, that was a really good year for like diverse media, because like, I mean, look at the big movies of 2018. You got Black Panther, Black Klansman, Hey You Give, Green Book, which people might not claim that, but realistic anyways. Sorry to bother you. If Beale Street Could Talk, Blind Spotting, and like even like, and then just like movies of African American. Look at like movies like directed by women are regarded some of the best in the year. Like, we got like Leave No Trace. Yeah, what's the other one? The one with You Were Never Really Here. You Were Never Really Here. It's a really good movie. Even like Asians are getting their
Crazy Rich Asians.
Who was being discussed as one of the big breakout stars 2018? Henry Golding, because he like came out, he showed like, hey, I'm here, I've arrived, I can be a charismatic leading man too. So,
and Searching got a lot of criticism.
Oh yeah, Searching. John Jones.
Yes,
Searching.
that was a great movie.
Yes.
Yeah, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg is huge this year with the documentary and on the basis of sex. So, I mean, I think this is like this new wave of like, you know, big minority made or led or directed films. Like, it's slowly giving studios more confidence to, you know, try these other movies, maybe like other creative minds.
I just realized, finally, a Miles Morales Spider-Man movie.
We had a We had a Spider-Man movie where Peter Parker was a supporting character in favor of a mixed race kid.
Yeah.
Like it's truly, and it's often regarded as it's being regarded by most as the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
It is.
Yeah, like very diverse. We had a black and Latino Spider-Man. We had an Asian Spider-Girl. We had a black and white Spider-Man played by Nicolas Cage.
We had a pig for animal rights activists.
Yes. Yes. Sadly, they're people too. I just like to poke the bear. That's like the one group that I'll poke the bear with, just because. I love
They wouldn't like that line that you just used. Poke the bear.
Poke the
Did
bear.
you see their whole push to
Poke the bark.
Stop poking the bear.
Bring home the bagels. Bring home the bagels.
You can't say kill two birds with one stone anymore. You gotta
It's
say
like feed two birds with one scone.
That's it. It's hilarious, but yeah, and I completely forgot where I was going with the conversation. But bottom line, I think I think next year we're gonna see a lot more diversity in film, both in front and behind the camera.
Exactly, and like, because the only worry that I could see coming from any of that would be just essentially a revival of tokenism, and I swear we're so past that. We're so done with that.
Oh no.
Well,
yeah, I mean we have all these minority characters who can stand on their own. I mean, look at Aquaman. $1 billion movie led by a Hawaiian guy whose biggest role was one where he didn't speak English.
True. That's true. That is very true. By the way, that is a great performance.
I don't know. It's like I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but I'm gonna commit anyway.
I do want to point out, in terms of the Oscars, since 2013, the Best Director Oscar has been won mostly by Hispanic guys. Actually, 2013 was Alfonso Cuarón. Then it was 2 times Iñárritu, and then we had last year we had Del Toro, and this year it actually might be Cuarón again. So
yeah.
That's also showing that.
And not to mention, like, the Academy recently added, I mean, I think it was either 2016 or 2017, following the Oscars So White campaign, where they completely reshuffled the Academy and added a whole bunch of new people of color and a bunch of women.
And remind me, Guillermo del Toro won some stuff for the what was the movie?
Shape of Water.
Yeah, The Shape of Water.
You won Best Director and you won Best Picture.
I won Best Director.
See, Guillermo, when you stay on projects, you win stuff.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, and plus, let's face facts. He couldn't have saved The Hobbit to begin with, so let's just move on from that.
Could have, should have, would have.
Yeah, could have, should have, would have.
But no, and you're absolutely right, and that's what's got me excited about this new era. Is that there's so many untapped stories. There's so many places that we could go now because it's finally getting accepted into the mainstream. So I'm actually, so before we get to, like I said, the other reason I asked you guys to come on this show, Jeannine, just moving forward, what are you most excited for in the world of film? Whether it's behind the camera, in front of the camera, whatever, just moving forward, what are you most excited for?
Just more original, interesting stories about all kinds of people. I mean, growing up, I was always looking for people who looked like me in movies and finding it very difficult. I had written an article talking about Robert Townsend's movie, Hollywood Shuffle, and that just being a great watch with Black Panther, because that movie's about like a struggling actor who's just kind of sick of seeing Black actors be relegated to the same roles, like negative characters like slaves and, gang leaders and thugs. And he wants to be the Superman. Why can't he be Superman? Why can't he be an action star? Why can't he be like a detective? He has to be these negative roles. So to see him kind of fighting for that and then to go to something like Black Panther was just kind of a big deal. So I hope to just see more moments of, things in the past that people were kind of fighting for come to fruition, just more diverse, interesting, original stories.
Amen. Chance, what are you looking forward to seeing as we keep progressing?
Just like specifically, or just like in general?
Just in general.
Just in general.
And if you have something specific, feel free.
Well, just like Jeannine said, there are tons of movies that are coming out that are going to be starring, be written, directed, produced by people of color and women that honestly are some of the most anticipated movies of next year. Like movies I'm really looking forward to featuring, like led by or directed by people of color. I mean, you got Jojo Rabbit being directed by Taika Waititi, Gemini Man, which is starring Will Smith and being directed by Ang Lee. Us, which I think looks fantastic. You got Alita Battle Angel, which is, it has an extremely diverse cast. People aren't talking about enough.
Which already has been pushed with its release date.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. That's probably the good move to move from that date, anyways. It would have been destroyed in that day. I'm looking forward to seeing the Old Spice guy in it, Chapter 2. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That's right.
Looking forward to the return of Shaft. He's finally coming back to the big screen. Hopefully, we talk about that on the show. Hopefully, that doesn't suck. And there's a bunch of movies coming out next year that features super diverse talent in it, and even just beyond that in the future. So in movies we're getting that honestly are really gonna do a lot for the culture and the community.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because so next week I'm having a guy from the Miscast Commentary podcast to come on. We're going to talk about pitching an adaptation of the game Knights of the Old Republic, and part of that includes fantasy casting. And I was looking over my list again today before we went live, and I totally just realized something out of because I'm pitching it as a 3-season show and he's pitching it as a trilogy of films. And I realized, just because of because I went with just who I think are the most talented for each specific role. And out of, oh God, was it like 22 roles, something like that? I counted a total of 7 white people.
Oh, wow. White people. Not just white men, white people.
Well, and
white guys gotta work.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that, Chance, because in my fantasy casting, I do have your partner as one of the roles.
Oh, Mike?
Yeah.
Yes.
Captain Whitebread himself.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the Inner Geekdom champion you were talking about.
That is a champ right there.
Don't worry. Soon to be former as.
No. That is the rightful, deserving Inner Geekdom champion. Shut your mouth.
He'll always be Whitebread to me. It's fine.
Jeannine, high five for that one.
God.
So, but yeah, and before we get to Schmoedown, real fast, Nico, what do you hope to see moving forward in the future, real fast? Because I know I didn't give you much chance to speak, so I'm sorry about that. But
okay, so as the wrestling guy in a room full of movie people, there's still a lot of progress to be made in terms of the wrestling industry. Like,
this is true.
There have been a couple female main events for pay-per-views in the past few years, but there has still not been a female main event for WrestleMania, the biggest event of them all. Now that may change this year, possibly because Ronda Rousey is the Raw Women's Champion and Becky Lynch is the hottest thing in the WWE right now. So that could so in terms of women, that could definitely change. They can finally take the top spot on the card on the biggest show of them all. In terms of people of color, the hottest thing I'd say that they have going for them right now at the WWE is the New Day when it comes to people of color. The tag team division over on SmackDown is strong with everybody, but especially when it comes to people of color on the roster. And the New Day, specifically Kofi Kingston,
Isn't that Kobe Kingston's crew?
Yes, that's Kofi Kingston's crew, and he has held basically every title multiple times, except for the main title, except for the World Heavyweight title. It's funny enough, the only black person to have held the WWE title, the main title of that company, has been Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And they rarely acknowledge his black half. They acknowledge his Samoan half a lot, but they rarely acknowledge his African American heritage as well. So like, there's still a lot that the biggest company of them all is behind on in terms of progress. And I feel like they have a lot of great stars on their hands that they should really be pushing in the main event scene.
Damn you, racial ambiguity.
Right.
What sucks I fall in that same camp.
Yeah, there you go. Case, what do you hope to see moving forward?
I first want to refer to an episode of South Park, which I very recently saw. I think it was like season 4 or 5, where they want to change the South Park flag because in the episode there's a black person being hanged by white people, and the kids, like
I remember this.
A couple of kids don't have an issue with it, and Chef is very up in arms about it because, of course, he's black, and he's like, why don't you have an issue with it? Because the kids don't see the difference between black and white people, and that's what I'm as well. Like, I don't really see the difference because we're all people at the end. So regardless of who you cast, who you have in movies, I just want the best movie to be put out. I don't really care if it's a woman or a black person or whatever, whoever is directing or casting it. I just want the best movie. If you think that the best person to cast or have as director is a woman, a black person, or whoever, then please, by all means, make sure that happens, because if that makes the best movie, like, I just want the best movie. I've always wanted movies to be the best they can be, rather than, as we've talked about before, people who think, oh, we're just going to make an easy movie and it's going to make cash, and who the fuck cares if it's good or not? It's going to make cash. I don't want that. I want the people to put out the best quality product that they can do. And I want them to have the best people that they have. And I think we're finally at a point where we can accept that whoever is cast in a role, we're not going to... I don't want anyone to be complaining about whitewashing or something else. Just make sure you have the best person in the role, and then I'll be happy with it, or in terms of the crew. That's what I want to see. I just want the best movie, because we are getting way too much crap these days. Last year was a little disappointing in terms of movies, to be honest.
Well, that's a very long-winded way of saying you're okay with Scarlett Johansson and Ghost in the Shell.
Or Emma Stone.
I have seen, like, I
to be fair,
partly watched that movie and I didn't like it. No. I partly watched Ghost in the Shell and I didn't really like it, so I turned it off.
It is bad.
It's bad.
So,
as a big fan of the original,
maybe they should have actually casted a person that was of the right.
No.
That wouldn't have fixed it, but it would have been at least, a step in the right direction, but not the step in the right direction.
I'm just wondering why you didn't use Emma Stone in Aloha for your analogy.
Because I haven't seen that movie.
Because you guys haven't seen it.
Nico.
I never thought about it until you just brought it up, so that's why.
Nico,
she was only half Asian, so it's okay.
Or why the fuck they ever cast Nikolai Coster-Waldau in the lead of Gods of Egypt? I don't know why.
Oh, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Brett Thwaites, Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler,
yes.
Who was exiled to the British
that
part.
Movie is terrible in every way, but it's so glorious. Like, it's so terrible that it's glorious. So watch it, please.
Wait. Who did they cast in the movie about the Great Wall of China?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. He didn't play an Asian, though. He played a European mercenary.
He played the white man who saved all the Asians.
He played the white guy who came to save China from all these
tropes. How wonderful you are.
That's the thing. The movie still has a mostly Asian cast.
Yes.
But yeah, Matt Damon is...
and also, Willem Dafoe was there as the guy who taught him English, because they needed someone to do that.
Oh my god.
Am I the only one here who actually saw The Great Wall?
Oh no, Kay saw it.
I did too, and it sucks.
Yeah. So the less we can have of that, the better. But to start to close out the show,
Let trash talk begin.
there was a particular reason I asked my two guests to come on the show tonight, because next week in a little city called New York City, they're going to be doing a little battle on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. And I'm going to tell you right now, for sure, Erwin Merle too, that's going to be great. This is the match right here that I'm looking forward to the most. Because, Jeannine, you are the shocker of all shockers as far as people who came right the fuck out of nowhere and surprised everybody with how skilled you are at this game.
Well, thank you.
Of course. See, Chance, now here's the difference. You and I still have some unfinished business, motherfucker. We're only 1-1. So I will forever hold that over Harloff until we can get this resolved.
Well, that footage is lost forever. So, I mean, that's not. You could say you beat me. It's not going to hold up in a court of law. So
give me time. We'll get this settled once and for all. But all joking aside, I do actually want to ask you both. Jeannine, I'll start with you. What is it that you personally want to achieve with a win against Chance next week at the live event in New York?
I want to hear this.
Oh my gosh. I just want to build up good momentum for the year to hopefully get to that belt. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. I definitely want to get a number one contender spot. I want to play, higher ranked players, because I didn't really get a lot of that last season. And just kind of show everybody what I can do. So I just want to have a good start to the rise of the machine, the road to the belt. So, yeah.
And speaking as someone who was supposed to be her manager before she got the call up, this is the true thing. I asked her if I could be her manager, and she got the call up before she ever got to play in a fan league match. But yeah, since he's here, I might as well say it. It's going to be the year of the machine. I can promise you that. And we have been working hard. We have been helping her prepare. And, to all the doubters out there, don't count this woman out. She is capable of a lot more than you might believe. And I see her winning a belt by the end of this year.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Nico.
Always.
Now, Chance, as someone who technically is more experienced in the fan leagues versus the actual thing, one can make the argument that you have just as much experience going into this match. So what is it that you need to achieve with the win?
Okay. Lesson 1. Don't reference the subpar Terminator sequel when trying to, announce your campaign for the year. Yes. Lesson 2. Don't say you see something good in the future when you don't see most good movies, Nico. Lesson 3. See, with my win in New York, look, Johnny Swade can kiss my ass. Nobody saw that movie. Nobody knew what that movie was. I got screwed out of that match. But you know what? Didn't matter, because I did what most people didn't think I'd do. I took Ethan Irwin, the now champion, further than anybody had in that season. Took him further than Irwin. Took him further than McWeeny. Took him further than Merle. Only person who took him farther than me was Clark, and she lost that match by a word, which was sad, but that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is this. I hate being 0-1. I really do. So I said I'm going to rip apart the next person to get in my way, and Jeannine, unfortunately, you're that next person. It's nothing personal. You're a good friend, but I gotta destroy you. I got to dismantle the machine.
Here's the thing. She can help you with that, because if you hate being 0-1, I'm sure you'll love being 0-2.
No.
That might be kind of fun, right?
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Criminy.
But just don't forget your diaper bag, and make sure Mikey, packs your pacifier,
And have Ken
you
read
might
you a
need it.
bedtime
You
story.
might need it after the match. You might be feeling, a little down. You might need your little, binky. So,
Talk is cheap, but let's see what you can do in the ring.
Ken will read you a bedtime story when it's all over.
Can't read a bedtime story no matter what, so it doesn't matter if I win or not. But I'm gonna win, so it'd be a glorious bedtime story.
Oh my god. Okay, that was perfect. I can't think of a better way to end the show, guys.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Because while these
Here we
two
go.
have business on Saturday, there's a lot of things happening in the week leading up to that. So may I do my segue?
You bastard. I was gonna actually let you do the full plug, but you know what? How about this, Nico? Just get your full schedule out of the way right now, and then when it comes to plugs, just literally do your Facebook, your YouTube, and then your Twitter, and then, all right?
Fair enough.
All right, Nico.
Okay, so before these two square off in New York, I'm kicking things off for the new year with a very special charity week that I like to call the John Regoy Memorial Trivia-thon, 4-thon, #trivia, the number 4 thon. And basically what this is I lost my dad last year to brain cancer, and then a few weeks later I went to Penn State's annual thon event. And yeah, just being there, dancing for all those kids who have been in my dad's situation, it made me want to use this platform that has made us all famous to do my own fundraising and contribute in my own special way. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to be competing in basically 14 matches in the span of 1 week. We've recorded a lot of them throughout this month, and I'm very tired for it. I don't suggest anyone else do it because it's a nightmare on your brain. But yes, you're going to see 14 matches with me as a competitor, and I think 2 other matches with me as a manager or host in that role. Throughout all the different fan leagues: Multiplex Entertainment, Full Metal Media, Jukebox Trivia over on Film Nerd TV, and the main event of the whole week will be the Combat Zone Wrestling Trivia Heavyweight Championship between myself and Andrew Hayes over on Film Nerd TV. So stay tuned for all those matches. There will be a link in the description of each video where you can donate to my personal donor box. And I look to raise $6,000. So share all those videos with as many people as you possibly can, and let's come one step closer to finding a cure for cancer.
Amen.
Amen.
That's awesome, dude. That's the other reason I wanted you on the show, because I really fucking believe in what you're doing. So if I had that amount of money on my person right now, bam, I'd throw it all your way. Sadly, I don't, because I'm a broke former college student. So
that's fine. And also, if there is ever a wrestling trivia schmoedown in the future, which I hope there is, Mr. Harloff, if you're watching, consider next week my audition.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Who Cares Anyway podcast. Like I said, we'll be back next week with Joe Findlay from the Miscast Commentary Podcast to pitch a KOTOR adaptation. And let's go around the horn, see where we can find everybody. Chance the Cobra. No, fuck it. You're the Titan. No matter what they say, you are the Titan.
That's what everyone keeps saying.
Well, as the Titan, he was 4-0 and a champion, so yeah, I can imagine.
I'm just going to call you Thanos the Snake.
Okay, that's fair enough. But anyway, you can find me.
Yeah,
you can find me on Twitter. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChanceWars_91. Check out my personal YouTube channel, Chance the Critic. I am getting back into that in 2019 because I did slack off in 2018. My review of Glass is up right now. Go check that out. You can check out my podcast, my main podcast, Notorious by Chance, with my buddy Russell Howell. We upload every week, and our next episode on Venom will be up tomorrow as of recording this. Check out my other podcasts, Series Study, which will be launching very soon, and PWCA, which I do with Ronald Parker, and it's all about Face and Verb. So, yeah, that's everything I'm working on right now. And yeah, go to New York and watch me win.
You're so funny.
Oh boy, Jeannine,
I'm hilarious.
Jeannine the Machine. Thank you once again for coming on. And where can the good folks find you online?
Twitter and Instagram, I am at Jeannine Dohmen. I have a tea shop on TeePublic at G9 Design, letter G, number 9 Design. And I do have a Patreon at Jeannine LC. So check me out there for updates on my art and fun, silly videos and study sessions for Schmoedown. So, yeah.
Awesome. Kees, Cornelisse, where can the good folks find you online?
Well, finally, in my TV fandom match, which was uploaded an hour ago, apparently. So I've been plugging this for a while because it's a great match. So guys, please check it out because you can finally see it now. Also, while my match was uploaded, also Nico's TV fandom match was uploaded, and in that video, you'll find out who he'll play in his charity week. So this is more a plug for Nico. Nico's match is up. Go check that out, and you'll see who will play in the Trivia-thon week in TV fandom. Other than that, you can find me at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter, Kees Cornelisse on Facebook, and I think just here on this channel, Viva la Resistance, the show, and when the Schmoedown finally comes back, those reactions.
Oh God, I cannot wait because I'm a little Schmoedown deprived. I need to just.
It's been a month.
Exactly.
You got any more matches?
And I finally found my whiteboard. You got any more matches? Yeah. You know, so
you could just do it. You could do what I did and just compete like several, almost 20 times in 1 month.
No, I'm not gonna do that because Kees and I actually have our own big match coming up real soon against our lovely friends, the Arkham Knights, Robert Parker and brother Tim Bracala. You know, and I'm not going to shit talk because the last time I tried that, it failed epically. So I'm just going to simply say, gentlemen, best of luck to you. You're going to need it. But then again, so are we. Nico, where can the good folks find you at your plugs? At your your social media, please.
You can find me escorting Jeannine to the stage for the Schmoedown live event in Brooklyn, New York.
Are you really?
Yes.
Oh, so I get to beat you with her with you like adjacent. That's awesome.
I might super kick Mike Kalinowski. Who knows? But anyway, no. I like you, Mike. I like your character's a douche, but you seem like a nice person in real life. But
I
anyway.
love Mike. He's awesome.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nico Suave Regoli. That's NicoSuaveRegoli. You can find me over on Film Nerd TV for the Week of Wrestling podcast and Combat Zone Wrestling Trivia. I'm coming for that belt, Andrew Hayes. Just you wait. You can find me right here on Dedicated to Art for various Schmoedown reactions and Star Wars stuff. And you can find me over on Multiplex Entertainment. That's the name of the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. The Twitter is at MultiplexYT. The Instagram is Multiplex Entertainment Network. The TeePublic is just Multiplex. Buy our awesome shirts.
And with that, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, and now Letterboxd at Skywalker Dohmen. You guys can follow this very channel on Twitter and Instagram at D2H Channel. Please like our Facebook page, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for all of our great shows, including Viva la Resistance, our Star Wars Resistance recap show, and of course the Schmoedown reactions. Back next week. Yes! And like I said, stay tuned next week for our KOTOR pitch, and then as well as the week after that, we have Jonathan Peck on for animated sequels. It's going to be a fun one. So, guys, from everybody here at the show, there's only one thing I want you to do. Take care!
Yeah!